Hey everybody, welcome back. So it has been a very busy 3 months. I start out every fucking video by saying this, dude. It's been very busy. I've been doing business shit, but like I actually have been very busy. Life's kind of slowing down right now for the holiday season, so I have time to make some videos. And this is gonna be my first one. So if you're familiar with my channel, you might think, okay, this is just basic Windows 7. You somehow fucking tweaked OBS 32 to run, and you might be thinking this is Windows 7. But what if I told you this was Windows 10? What if I opened up my start screen, said this is a Windows 10? You wouldn't believe me. What if I opened up File Explorer, looks perfect, has the sound? You wouldn't believe me. You know, Everything looks good. Even if I were to head over to WinVer, it would still say it's Windows 7 Ultimate. So any rational person would think that this is, Windows 7. But if you press Windows key and I, you will be proven wrong. It opens up the Windows 10 settings. So this is a build of Windows 10 called Reunion7. Reunion 7, I think that cut out, so I'll just say it again. But anyway, so this is the project which. So this was created by the people who made the mods Reload 7 and Classic 7. So if you don't know, these were theme mods that you would install on a Windows 10 computer to make it look exactly like Windows 7. So kind of like, like Revert 8 Plus. I think that's what this is for Windows 11. That gives you the look of Windows 7, but it's not as good because it can't really sync into DWM as well because, an update would break it. It can't really do Arrow all that well. But anyway, so this is a build of Windows 10 LTSE that replicates the look of Windows 7 basically near one-on-one. So just from looking at it, you can tell that there is no differences between it at all in between the visual. The only real thing that you can look at, right, if you look at the start orb, it is a little higher definition than, Windows 7. I think since we're using start as back, that's like the key thing that runs the start menu, I think this, I don't want to say upscaled. I don't want to look stupid for being wrong, but I think it's a higher res quality orb than what I think Windows 7. Yeah, Windows 7 uses a lower quality orb. I would imagine it's an operating system from 2009. So I mean, I would imagine it definitely uses lower quality. But besides from that, it's perfectly indistinguishable. And let me tell you, so this is my current computer right now. In the last video I made, I had a pretty, shit PC. I had a i5 6600K. My other computer literally exploded, right? Like, it literally, like, I'm not even joking when I say that. But somehow the CPU I was able to salvage. I got a new board, and I was able to salvage the CPU, salvage the RAM, and I got a 9060 XT as my graphics card. That is the only reason why I decided to stop using Windows 7 is because, well, I literally just can't fucking use it anymore. It's completely unusable on this new hardware. But I've been enjoying computing a lot more lately. So even though this is Windows 10 under the hood, it still runs just like how Windows 7 would, even on newer hardware, right? The thing with this is that Windows 10, with the DWM within Windows 10 is so bloated and has so many unnecessary steps, is that it just bloats itself. Even things like dragging Windows, like doing that, just feels really sluggish in the latest build of Windows 10 and Windows 11 without doing any tweaking. So what this does is, let me show you guys the programs this runs. So you have to enable hidden folders to see this thing. So you just come to here, you would come to control panel, you would appear in personalization, show hidden files and folders. You would just select that on, press OK, and then you can see what everything runs. So these are the key programs that this ISO uses to get you that look and feel. So it uses taskbar tweaker, AWM. This is the injector for the DWM for arrow theme. Start is back. That's for the start screen. It also it's just the start screen. It's not really much more complex that it's going to. WinHawk. So this uses a lot of mods, and it's just like this is like something you don't want to mess with unless you really want to tweak, unless you really want to tweak your computer. But this is really good on theming too as well. So all you have to do is just say for example if you want to use a custom orb, you just have to find one from like DeviantArt. You could come here, apply that. You have your custom orb. Then let me just load my theme back up real quick since you guys already seen what it looks like default. So let me just do that. But this runs everything. So this runs the latest build of five. So you have to remember that this is Windows 10 under the hood. So if we were to come to here, now this is Florp. This is like a Japanese Firefox fork. So if we were to come to about Florp, this is one of the latest This is the latest version of Florp, 12.7. So this only runs on Windows 10 and Windows 11. And as you can see, this runs perfectly fine under Windows 10 LTSE with no problems. Now, Windows 10 LTSE will be getting updates until 2032. But the problem is, right, let me just find the thing for you guys because so in the thing it comes with an FAQ. So README. So this isn't in the FAQ on the website, but I just want to show you guys certain things that the devs are going to add later on. So this is the version 0.9 catalog, the things they added. So if we were to look, move to DWM tweaker, tweaked recovery points, implemented all publicly available CPL shell restorations. So this is why this OS runs so smooth, is because it is using the Windows 7 shell. Now I want you to keep in mind, right? If you were to go into 2022 and find a theme for, with like 10 to 7, at best you would probably just get Stardust back, like taskbar tweaker, maybe some Aeroglass with the kind of like start dock or whatever it was. It was just so horrendous. Is that you couldn't reliably make 10 look like 7 in that era because they were still getting feature updates. Like one update, it could just nuke your entire theme. It could like just destroy everything. But this is the stablest experience of Windows 7 you can get. So if you're a Windows 7 user, I highly recommend upgrading to this because it's literally just it's Windows 7 just with you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting the smoothness in the shell in the Explorer, which is like this is the Windows 7 file explorer to like an extent. Like I can't get into the super specifics, but it copies over some of the Windows 7 Explorer properties into this. So like this isn't just a themed Windows 10 Explorer. It uses elements of the Windows 7 shell to it. And I find that really interesting. I don't know how they did it. I'm not really that I would say I'm pretty good with computers and technology just based off, the shit that I make. But I would have to, dive deeper into the critical system elements on how this mod works. So it has a Windows 7 snipping tool, credit. So I'm going to give a lot of these credits. So I'm going to give credit to Abud Yomori, I don't know how you pronounce that, Joelman 11, Tech Stuff, Open Glass Legacy, DWM, AeroPeak 4. Like, all of these people here deserve all the credit for this. They've made an amazing product. This is, I think I've already said it again, like, the greatest things in sliced bread. Like, you can't beat this. So, right, say, Steam launches. I've been playing Stalker 2 a lot on my computer. Now, obviously, we know Stalker 2 doesn't run on Windows 7. Obviously, fucking not. But if we come here, I can press play on the game. I can play 2K25. These are all games that don't run on Windows 7, obviously. If I tried running this on Windows 7, I think my PC would spontaneously combust, and I think the fucking NSA would, come to my house for even attempting something so fucking outlandish of committing such an act of tomfoolery. Fucking Donald Trump would send his fucking goons after me. He would label me a part of fucking Antifa, and then he would deport me back to fucking Guatemala. That would be what would happen if I tried to run these games on Windows 7, and they would just not work. But since this is Windows 10, they just work. Epic Games runs. I play Fortnite sometimes. Like everything runs perfectly fine. I have no complaint with this operating system at all. You know, it still might not be ready for everybody. Like if you have to run like the Microsoft, like you can get all like everything running. Like you can get the Microsoft store. It's the same thing in regular builds of LTSE. You just come into PowerShell, you type in a few commands, and you can get the Microsoft store. But this is really really good, right? Like I just want to like just go over more things, right? Just come to the control panel, like hardware and sound, like power options. Like this is, and it's a cool thing too. You also get the ultimate performance power plan on this as well. So you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting, the better CPU scheduler of Windows 10. You're getting the more up to date kernel. You're getting everything you could ever want out of Windows 10, while also keeping the stability of Windows 7. If you were going to install Windows 7 in the year, did my mic just fucking break? Okay, no, it didn't. I was about to fucking punch my desk, and I don't even know what would have happened then. I would not have punched my desk. I just would have recorded this and just been sad about it. But yeah, I just lost my train of thought. God damn it. Okay, just showing you guys the shit. But anyway, if you come to device and printers, like you can't tell. Like there is literally nothing in this that like breaks character at all. Like like there'd be like with most themes, there would be some inconsistency somewhere down the road. But I mean, this is just, like you just can't beat this. It even has the Windows 7 games installed. Okay, so like let's try running, Solitaire. I don't know how to play Solitaire at all, but let's try running it. Okay, well, I guess it just doesn't run. I guess actually I might have disabled this feature. I think I might, if I go to turn Windows features on or off, I think I might have disabled the games. Hang on, let's see. Still have Explorer 11 framework containers, legacy components. What would that be? Direct play. Yeah, so I don't even have it disabled. So that just might be a bug on my end because I've seen people get those working before. But as you can see, this is Windows 7 to a T. There's not a single thing in here that you could tell like this is Windows 7. Like if I couldn't show you guys the Windows 10 settings, there would be no way to prove to you that this is telling. You would just have to take my word for it. But anyway, I'm going to make a more in-depth video on the installation process of this tomorrow. I just wanted to get this out. I just wanted to, document my current experience on it so far. It's a work of art. It really is. I recommend this wholeheartedly. I've done deep malware analysis on this ISO. I have not found anything that could prove that, this is sketchy. Yeah, I've ran like at least like 20 commercial antiviruses. I've scanned the temp files. I've scanned the outgoing connections onto it for multiple hours on end. Documented everything, every IP address I looked up. It was either tied to one of the apps I had downloaded or just fucking Google bullshit. I use Google as my search engine, so just the fucking telemetry coming from that, my VPN, like whatever it may be. There were no connections to strange countries. It was a very smooth experience. Like, this is safer than regular Windows 10, okay? Like, if you were to install regular Windows 10, you would have fucking Candy Crush on your start screen. It would run like shit. It would just perform very unpleasant. So, I mean, like, I'll go on record, I'll say this. I would recommend this more than Windows 10. And will actually, if you. In terms of the YouTube guidelines, I cannot recommend something like this. And it's always recommended to use Windows 10 on its base model for the best privacy. Okay, I can stop being a dork now. But anyway, you know, just so the video doesn't get taken down. I've been taken down for less. Okay, like for a lot less. So I'm gonna not take my chances on that. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I apologize if this wasn't like if you didn't find this helpful. I'm very tired right now. It's currently 2 in the morning right now, so I'm gonna head to bed. But I'll make a more in-depth video on this within the next 2 days on the like on a VM, the actual installation process, how that goes. Like making your own account, just so you can see the process of that. But this is a live system running Reunion 7, and it's a work of art. It really is. I really do enjoy this product. I hope you guys enjoy this. Well, not really a product. There's not really a service. There's not a price on it, but I don't even know what to describe. God, I need to go to bed. I can't even get a sentence out. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next.